Track here at Silverstone, part of this Motors TV live race day. 15 minutes are in prospect. It's going to be a battle royal, I predict, between Ray West and Roger Stanford, but expect battles all the way down the field as well. Rear-wheel drive cars off the grid are going to be fairly lively, to say the least. The road is drier than it has been. The only positive about this blustery wind is it gets rid of the water and dries the track fairly quickly, but it's still very cold. There's not much track temperature, not much warmth in tyres, even after that one warming up lap, and it's a long way for the back of the grid to arrive. Andrew Anderson-Smith's Honda CRX has now done so. Lights go red, lights out now. Who gets the best start? It's a good getaway by both from the front row. Stephen Primer doesn't get away so well from the second row in the white Escort, and it is Ray West who storms into the lead as they go down towards Copse for the first time. Stuart Kay tries to go around the outside in the XXX liveried Ford Capri. There's still a lot of standing water on the road. The spray hangs in the air as the cars work their way now up towards Beckett's then. And so as the field turns its way into the right-hander, Ray West leads, Roger Stanford is second, then the best of the Fords is third, of Malcolm Wise, and very, very wide goes West, very sideways goes Wise, and Stuart Kay's Capri goes off as well.
And a big slide from the leader there is West. West started all of that really in the lead, and the yellow BMW went really sideways, corrected it, and then everyone seemed to follow suit in sympathy really. So not a great start, and again Beckett's has taken a few prisoners on the first start.
And here we go, Michael Sheraton's BMW dives up the inside there of the Pete Winston Escort coming down towards Brooklands. You've got Nick Strong in the white and green Ford Capri trying to join in as well. The recovering Stephen Primmett's there also in the white Mark 1 Escort as they come up now towards Luffield. This is lap number 1. Up front, the yellow M3 of Ray West leading. He and Roger Stanford getting away. Michael Sheraton is going great guns, isn't he, in the third place M3, but he's got these pesky Mark 1 Escorts that are much older cars, rather impudently staying with him, and the Mark 1 Capri of Nick Strong as well. So they come over the line as Roger Stanford gets out of the spray, has a look up the inside going into Copse Corner, but Ray West knows exactly how to preserve a race lead. He's got pointy elbows when he needs them, he sticks them out, and Roger Stanford can't find a way through.
And he's making that BMW very, very wide as well. Just watching on the exit of Copse there, the yellow BMW of West, the back end of the car stepping out, and this is where he stepped out earlier on the first lap, which then concertinaed everybody back, and they all did it out of sympathy earlier, but no problems there. Very, very clean start. We've got a massive sideways there. Is he going to collect a cone? Yes, he is. Pings it onto the Grand Prix circuit and spins. Is he going to get collected? Let's hope not. There's plenty of room either side. Let's hope not. Let's get him going again. Select the gear, start the car up, and off we go again.
This is Stephen Primmett, who's had the spin, and everybody has managed to dodge round him. David Howard in the background making progress in the XJ12. The XJS also has been storming up the order. The car of Andrew Harrison as the leaders work their way back into the stadium. It's all go, isn't it?
that was a big slide and a very, very quick back end coming round, a quick spin and then blocking the circuit, but everybody missed him and he got going again.
Now this is the lead battle, and it's going to be 3 for the lead, I think, before long, because you've got Michael Sheraton charging after them in the Laser Tools livery, which of course is going to be adorning a Mercedes this year in the BTCC. Stanford goes to the inside at Copse. Is he going to be able to make a move? He thinks about it, but again, going offline to pass, difficult because you find even more wet.
Yep, you do find even more wet, and also if you're going offline to pass, you're taking a tighter line, so you're sacrificing the exit speed as well. So he's literally showing his nose up the inside just to get out of the spray, really, and just to show that he is threatening to do a pass at some point, but I think he's just biding his time.
Now there you've got Alan Greenhall in the yellow Vauxhall, right onto the tail now of John Wright in the Mark 1 Escort, and then behind them also is Malcolm Jeffs, the 67-year-old with the Alfa Sud Sprint, and that is going very well indeed. Takes you back to the likes of John Dooley and the late John Milesco that used to race them in the BSCC, and Malcolm Jeffs now closing up onto the tail of the Vauxhall. And Alan Greenhall is rather busy trying to attack and defend all at the same time. David Howard in the Jaguar now tries to join the next little gaggle and spring up the inside as they come out of the corner, trying to get alongside Paul Beaurain as the race leaders almost overlap coming through Luffield. Ray West is on the outside, but he gets it sideways, and even more sideways behind is the charging Michael Sheraton.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a three-way battle, David. I think you are bang on the money there. That's absolutely brilliant stuff. But yeah, the BMW, the lead car of West, along at the front there is going very, very sideways, just when he doesn't want to need to, and he goes sideways on the way into Copse corner. So he's literally coming off the brakes, turning in, and the back end is reacting to that as he turns and the back comes round. Not where you want to go sideways, before the corner. On the exit, it's fine, but not before. That is brave stuff at about 85 miles an hour into Copse.
Lapping at a similar pace is Michael Sheraton in third as Roger Stanford, the man from Hull, closes up to the back of Ray West, under braking for Beckett. Sheraton almost with them as well, and these three long gone, aren't they, before now Nick Strong is up into fourth place in the older Capri. And look at the way the Jaguar XJS has gone. Andrew Harrison then is fifth, having started 22nd, but he may not be fifth for much longer, because if he doesn't get sideways, he might get clobbered by Pete Winston, who just about gets the Mark 1 Escort slowed down. But all of a sudden, it's starting to get wet once again, it seems, over at Beckett's, because wipers are on, the rain is coming down, and that brief bit of optimism has now long gone. So what was going to be a fairly lively race anyway could be even more lively if the weather conditions get nasty, and that's nasty.
Yeah, and Sheraton as well really is catching these two that are battling. They're actually tripping over themselves now. Also, the vision from even the leader, because it's raining, isn't going to be as good as it could be by being in the lead without being in the spray behind somebody else. And Sheraton again is done the fastest lap, so Sheraton really is on a roll here, and he's looking like he's going to take second place quite easily. He's looking like he's reveling in these weather conditions.
So Sheraton is there, as you say, third, getting stronger and stronger. All of these three drivers leading their respective classes. And Sheraton now looks like the danger, doesn't he? Because he's right up onto the back of Roger Stanford, and it won't be long before he's going to make a move here to the outside line, where he hopes there's a bit of traction. And Stanford slithers out wide, leaves the door open.
This is going to be a drag race.
It is, and it's going to be resolved, I think, down at Brooklands. So Sheraton's going to be on the outside line there, but the inside line for Luffield. That's the plan.
Yeah, that is the plan. They've both got a relatively similar exit, but you've got a little bit more power there from the Stanford, the red and white Fina-coloured BMW on the inside now, but we've got more momentum from the laser car of Sheraton around the outside. It's the grippier line around the outside. Are they going to give each other room? Yes, they are. And what a great move up the inside. Can he make it stick?
He can. He's on the inside line. It's the shorter line. It's the tighter line. Having said that, the very experienced Roger Stanford is going to come back in him if he can, and they overlap coming out of the corner. Ray West can't get away from them, and Stanford does go back ahead, coming through Woodcote now. Over the timing line they come. Sheraton has done the fastest lap of the race. That time around, he's 2/10 back, and they're already up with the traffic. Look, the CRX there is about to go a lap down. Andrew Anderson-Smith is going to have to dart out of the way so that he doesn't impede the quicker cars, and fair play to him. He does exactly that, sees them coming, gets well out of the way, and there's a yellow flag waving as David Howard has dumped the Jaguar in the gravel, and that, Charlie, I reckon, is a bit close to the edge of the road.
Yeah, also very brave of the marshals as well there. That is a very, very slippery, quick entry on the way into the corner, so I do hope that everybody is watching the yellow flags. So the marshals will be doing their bit there to get that car moved away from out of the gravel as we see the three leaders leaving down the Wellington Straight. Here's a replay, David.
This is how he got there. Comes out of maggots, loses the back, and just slithers off into the gravel, and he is going no further. Race leader, Ray West, coming up towards Luffield. This is lap 6. Having to really fight the car coming out of Luffield there, Ray West. He has got Roger Stanford on his tail, and then the 325i of Michael Sheraton that was trying to mix it with the M3s, having got up there, has now lost 3 or 4 lengths, and suddenly the lead battle has changed again because Stanford has shaken him off, so he can attack, he can concentrate on what's ahead. He doesn't have to worry about defending and going slower.
Yeah, exactly. Well, West, as these two, the second and third place BMW 3 Series, were sort of really battling away, the leader could get away, and now Sheraton seems to have turned his lights on. He seems to have got a little bit slower since he's turned his lights on, so he needs to probably turn them back off and go back into stealth mode. But again, it's not the safest way around, as we've got 3 abreast coming into Brooklands there. 3 abreast coming into Brooklands. Sierra versus Ford behind. All Fords battling away, as we've got an Alfa Romeo in the mixer as well, David. You'll be well happy with that.
Quite right, absolutely. You need a good Alfa, the stud sprint. Very pretty little car, that, getting stuck in behind Alan Greenhall's Vauxhall. And then you've also got at the head of this John Wright's Escort in the Alan Mann colours. Then you've got the Sierra Sapphire Cosworth, Malcolm Wise, that was on the second row but has dropped back in that corruption of the Trackstar 1991 colours coming over the timing line. Alan Greenhall up alongside, in fact. He's going to have a challenge, I think, on the outside line there. The Vauxhall Forenza tries to line up to make a move, but Malcolm Wise in the Sapphire Cosworth goes to the inside of the much older Escort then as they dart into Copse Corner. But actually the Escort, perhaps more nimble and not having to worry about turbo lag, comes out ahead. And the Alfa Romeo also going oh so strongly in the hands of Malcolm Jeffs there, 15th at the start of the lap. But the yellow flags are still waving up at Beckett, so overtaking should not be happening, and it's very hard when you arrive there side by side to know who ought to give. So I think you just, as a plot, stay side by side. Ronnie Haynes in the yellow Escort, former classic racing car competitor with the HSCC, comes out ahead of Alan Greenhall. Not quite sure whether he was ahead going into the corner, but he came out ahead anyway. Yeah,
definitely. So everyone's doing their bit to try and squabble around for position, but not overtake under yellow flags at that very slippery Maggots-Beckett section of the circuit as they lead back onto the Wellington Straight, which we're picking up the leaders now, which are actually closing back up again. But we've still got West, who still is doing his bit and taking the command and still leading. And look at the power there, the difference there. He's pulling away at the top end of the straight.
But his is the 3-litre M3, it's the 2.5 engine in Roger Stanford's car, and you can tell, can't you, on that straight where the extra brunt comes in. But Roger Stanford is better on the brakes, and look, he's better through the twiddly bits because he's staying on the tail of the leader, Ray West, in the yellow M3.
Yeah, this is really good stuff. It'd be nice to see the 11 car and the 56 car, Stanford and Sheraton, really push on here. But Sheraton seems to have dropped away back in third place, and Stanford really needs to sort of give it up a little bit for the modern day M3, as it were, in front, and try and knock him off the top spot and have a nice clean move.
Putting a lap on publican Peter Holton there in the Rover P6. Peter used to race a Rover Vitesse, or an SD1 shape Rover, in National Super Rods on the ovals, and a big lose. Michael Sheraton, it goes left, it goes right, it goes off in the end. And that, I'm afraid, is the end of the challenge for third place. It skates across the grass, and that grass is so wet. Once you hit it, you are a passenger.
Yeah, definitely. So he's done a good few 360s there. He'll be absolutely fine, but a little bit miffed with himself. He's now wheel spinning like crazy to get back onto the track again. So look for traction a little bit as we gain grip, back onto the tarmac again, and literally just try and get your heart rate back up again as we look for a replay of what we've just seen there. The third place man goes sideways, corrects it, it snaps back the other way, which is called a tank slapper, as the fuel sloshes around in the petrol tank behind you and literally just wallops you back round again onto the grass. Plenty of runoff on the inside there, so no damage at all, just a little bit of pride damage, that's all. So we've got the Renault 5 there coming into Copse Corner. Back into the leaders again, see into the back markers as well. It's about where you pass the back markers. Now that's giving the two BMWs now. The third place man, as we've just seen, spun off. So it's just down to these two of not making any mistakes and having a nice clean race up the front. And let's see if Stanford can take West for that lead that West has had for all of the race so far.
They're both experienced drivers. The traffic should not be a problem, but of course it's a short lap. Now this is third and fourth coming towards you. The recovered Michael Sheraton just ahead of the Jaguar XJS of Andrew Harrison. Now that car started 22nd, but it's up to fourth. So it's made very, very good progress in conditions which you might think are not really conducive for a Jaguar XJS with a 5-litre engine.
Yeah.
Second spin of the race for Stuart Kye's Jerry Marshall Tribute Capri.
Proving how slippery it is. You know, we have that bit of rain, the sun now comes out, it also gets very, very slippery as well. And I can't believe that Sheraton is still in third place after that 3 or 4 360 spin that we saw at Copse.
And Ray West in the traffic, look, is pulling away. David Howard's Jaguar, I noticed, has got back into the race. I was fearful about where it was in the gravel bed. It's actually, thanks to the marshals, got back out and is still circulating. The cars then now turn their way up out of Luffield. Sideways Ray West comes up onto the back of Malcolm Jeff's Alfa Sud Sprint that's attacking Alan Greenhall's Vauxhall Forenza. Over the timing line comes Ray West then now. That puts 10 laps in the book, and we've got time enough, I think, for just 2 more laps of the race. Out of Copse Corner they come. In that one shot, you saw the variety that the Classic Touring Car Racing Club can offer as the leaders got in and amongst the traffic. So the BMW M3s working their way through Copse Corner. Round the outside goes Roger Stanford. He gets through the traffic, gets past the Alaman liveried Ford Escort, and now once more down Wellington Straight.
And the car that he's just passed in the Escort with the Alaman livery, 64 years old, John is, bless him, and he's been racing for about 22 years, and he's never had a race win, and he's desperate for a win. He's had class wins, but he's never actually had a race win. So maybe not today, because I don't think he likes the wet conditions, but 64 years old. Brilliant. What a lovely bloke.
He's second in class, though. He's not doing half bad. A quick word about Andrew Anderson-Smith in the Honda CRX, because in fairness, every time anybody bears down on him and he needs lapping, he gets well out of the way, and as he learns about his racecraft, he's doing everything absolutely right. He's not getting in anybody's way, not impeding them. Perfect gentleman when it comes to being a back marker of this race. The last lap board goes out, 22 seconds on the clock as Ray West sprints over the line. Michael Sheraton has done another best lap of the race, incidentally, but the spin cost him so much time. He's a rather distant third now, but third I think he will remain, because in turn he's being able to shake off there the XJS in the hands of Andrew Harrison coming up towards the line. The regulations for the British Saloon Car Championship in period made participation of an XJS not possible. The engine limit was capped so that the XJS with its 5.3 litre engine was not eligible, but it was in Europe, so you had the XJSs taking on the 635 CSI BMWs, and then latterly the Rover Vitesses as well for 83-84, for example. There is Nick Strong. Now he's fifth in his Capri, and he comes through, being pursued by the barking Escort. You can hear it in the background of Pete Winston.
Sounded great, didn't it?
Absolutely. Ray West, meantime, has been able to fend off everything that Roger Stanford has thrown at him and worked his way commendably well through the traffic.
Yes, yeah, he has done a very, very good job through the traffic there. So as you can see there, the leader still just getting the opposite lock on the outside there as they're leaving Luffield, staying off the painted curbs, wipers ablaze. Even though he's in the lead, he's having to chase back markers, so the spray is being kicked up by them. And as you can see, checkered flag. Over to you, David.
Ray West wins then, his second win of the weekend, and he does the fastest lap of the race on the very last lap for good measure. Roger Stanford will come home in second place. He's been over the timing line, but he's not yet been reflected as having crossed the line, but he is there. And then it's going to be Michael Sheraton, hopefully, for third. But with the leaders working their way through traffic, there was a lot going on at the end. And here is for fourth place, not bad, from 22nd on the grid. Coming up towards the line now, Andrew Harrison, as he works his way up towards the line. Through he goes. A very good effort indeed in the XJS. So West the winner by 2.2 seconds from Stanford. Sheraton third, Harrison fourth, and Nick Strong is going to come through for fifth, and a class-winning Pete Winston should be on target with the best of the Mark 1 Escorts for sixth position. There is Nick Strong. He will take second in his class behind Andrew Harrison's XJS. The Mark 1 Capri comes across the line behind the Jaguar of David Howard that we saw in the gravel bed early on in the race. Frustrating that, because David is normally a front runner, but today that spin didn't help him at all. And Stephen Primmett arrives in his usual manner, sideways and spectacular, seventh indeed over the line, seventh after his spin up at Beckett's at the start of the race. There is Ronnie Haynes, Mark 1 Escort, heading up towards the line on the tail of Malcolm Wise. 9th and 10th they go through. Malcolm Wise 9th, Ronnie Haynes 10th, and 10th is the last unlapped driver across the line. There is Ray West, victorious, another man making it 2 out of 2 at Silverstone this weekend. And the yellow BMW M3 will make its way down the pit lane, and a very good job done in, as we keep saying, very tricky conditions here at Silverstone. Ray West, the winner, in the end, 2.298 seconds, the margin over Roger Stanford. Michael Sheraton, third, despite the spin that he had. Andrew Harrison takes fourth from way, way back on the grid, a good drive. Nick Strong, fifth with his Capri. And Pete Winston, still quick, still successful at 66 years of age, comes home in sixth spot.